you know, as we move on now, because we're now looking to next season, it would be foolhardy of us at this stage to dwell too much on the past if we're going to survive this club for the next 100 years. So the truth of it is, just having a press conference, seeing Willie sign for next year, tremendous. You know, I think we're going to see him again in the Wakefield Trinity jersey. Brad Davies coming back to join us, and Gary Price, you know, showing faith in this club and signing for next year with you know, input into coaching. I feel really heartened and confident that what we think we'll produce on the field, we know this time we can produce off it. John took over towards the back end of last year, did a magnificent job in certainly turning the team out that we did and making sure the attitude was correct. So what we're doing now is we're discussing that issue, and I think, you know, in the light of the personnel and position we have at this club, John's an integral part of Wakefield Trinity for the next, well, 20 years as far as I'm concerned. It's that wonderful sense of humour that keeps us going.
Julian O'Neill, a lovely slip pass to Davies, and that's a better ball to David March. Good tackling, saved the day by Jamie Smith, the fullback, Martin Pearson, and that's to Gary Price, the assistant player coach, through a big gap in the Workington defence. Brad Davies, that's a good run, a good tackle. Davies back inside again, and that's Willie poaching under the sticks. Julian O'Neill, again, that's a good ball to Brad Davies, and Davies, that's a good ball to Martin Holland. Holland gets a better ball onto David March, onto Brad Davies, and what a try under the sticks by Brad Davies. But that's got to go down to a good team effort. Excellent play in midfield, they weren't going to let the ball die, and the Wildcats post a third try after 19 minutes. Davies onto Julian O'Neill. O'Neill, big fella, trying to get free, trying to pass that ball. So with a penalty in the drive, they're up at the 10-metre line. And that's a good ball to Martin Holland. And Martin Holland dives over in the corner. David March going from acting half. Good scamping little run. Trying to get up and play the ball. Davies onto Willie poaching. Poaching breaks the first. Poaching out to Richard Smith. Smith onto Sovatabua. That's good backing up. Sovatabua is in the corner. Excellent backing up from the wingman was Sovatabua. The Workington man still spark out in back play as play goes on. Willie poaching stepping off the right, trying to get his foot free. Fifth and last. Davies, little jink over, that's for Neil Law. Neil Law picks it out of the air and gets the ball down. and that's been practised on the training pitch. Mickey Horner. That's a kick and chase, and that's going to be a good score if he gets it. And that is a good score. That gets the biggest cheers of the day. Graham Luthwaite. So Wakefield just going forward again. Martin Pearson plays the ball on to Paul Jackson. Dave March, Brad Davis, just dummies to Keith Mason. Eventually gives the ball to Jamie Field. Jamie Field, he's going to be in. Jamie Field just bounces over, just jinked past about 3 defenders. So now things are going to surely hot up. Oh, and a good kick put in by number 4. That was silly. And Jamie Field just looking to slip that ball. Willie poaching. On to Tommy Hockey. Tommy Hockey bounces off one. On to Sovatabua. Sovatabua is going to score. And what a good pass from Tommy Hockey. Ryan Hudson acting half. Brad Davis back inside of Frank Watini. Watini just angled out by Carl Sice. Martin Pearson, that's a little jink through, and that's picked up lovely by Justin Brooker. Is it Justin Brooker? Key hold by Martin Pearson, and the ball lost in the tackle, and the man who touches down is Neil Law. 22.5 minutes of this first half played. The Wildcats again putting pressure on this line. Spent quite a lot of time down near the 20-metre area. Not yet managed to reach that last line of defence. And Paul Jackson bounces off one, 10 metres out. Brad Davis acting half. Jamie Field. Jamie Field's going to be in. And Jamie Field gets the first try. Dave Marsh jinks one way, then the next. The defence a little static. Just wait for the hooker to get to them and they make the tackle. Ryan Hudson acting half. Davis, Pearson. That's a good ball to Martin Holland, but an equally good tackle. And then Martin Pearson's over the line. Martin Pearson's touchdown. The referee points at the spot. Davis to Sovatabur on the angle. Sovatabur just interfered with Tommy Hockey. That's a good ball to Tatupu. Tony Tatupu, he's going to be in. And what a try from Tony Tatupu. Just 60.5 minutes on the clock. And Router again taking charge of acting half. That's a ball back inside to Gary Price. And surely now the Oldham defence must be tiring after the sterling work it's done all afternoon. And that's out to Ryan Hudson. There's a gap again here. And Sovatabur's going to be in. Sovatabur's been threatening that line since the kick-off. I'm sure Julian Neal's replaced. Looks like Gary Price, the man who's replaced. Gavin Dodd loses the ball and Sovatabur is in for his second. Gavin Dodd just allowed the ball to bounce. Sovatabur within 3 minutes of his last score. Philip Farrell. Gibbons over to Leo Casey. Mike Ford. Kevin Mannion. On the ball taken well by Chris Farrell and on to Pat Ridge. Just to touch on today's game, we've got through now to the quarter-finals of the Challenge Cup. You've had a good game yourself and been awarded man of the match.
Well, I can't remember half the game anyway. I thought that were half time. Yeah, I think we struggled first half. We've come out second half, and settled down, got to basics, and have come through in the end.
So we've got to bring Cass on next week, the first round of the Super League.
Yeah, that's right. We're looking forward to that game. Everybody's writing us off in the press, and it doesn't really bother us that much. It hurts your pride a little bit, but you're always happier being the underdog rather than great expectations.
Heavy going for the forwards out there today.
It was heavy going, yeah. You could feel it running around on this hard ground, but it helps a lot when the backs come in and give you a hand. But no, we went well.
Certainly bringing Neil and Tabor in off the wings quite a lot to help you out.
Yeah, they were both very strong, and Neil could play in the front row, and Waz he's awesome on his feet, and he can run through anyone as well. So they do help you out quite a lot.
So we'll look for a good draw and a good game against Cass next week.
Hopefully, yeah. We've got them, so there'll be another tough encounter. So we've got to prepare for that during the week, and hopefully we'll get it sorted out.
So everything starts gelling together a lot more as well for you. Thanks very much.
I know we're on the eve of the first Super League game, so it's very early in the season. From what I've seen of the players, we'll get that family spirit. And when times are really tough, they will stick together. And I think every successful team's had that, or got that. And we didn't have it last year. And I don't care what people from last year say, we didn't have it. So I've been working really hard on that, and some of the things we do, we have fun at training, we work hard, but we still have fun. Players genuinely care for each other. And when we've got our backs to the wall, the team will rally round. I'm confident of that. As I said, it's going to be interesting to view this tape at the end of the year. But it's Cass this week, and I think if you'd have said towards the end of last season that we beat Cass in our opening game, people would have not believed you, because we're only just existing at the end of last season. But expectations have changed a little bit, mainly due to beating two First Division sides. Cass will be hard. And we're focused on the performance rather than the results. We've just studied their game plan, and we've looked at ours, and we're just going to get out there and have a go.
Martin Pearson. Well, the right side of the defence up very quickly from the Tigers. Router out to March. Julian O'Neill. No, it's Jamie Field. Tommy Hockey. Hockey breaks through, and it's out to Tabor. 25 minutes. Wassili Tabor gets yet another try for the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. Is it going to be worth the drop goal? Going for the 6 points. Paul March dabs it through, and the ball missed, but then kicked dead by the Cass Tigers, so they concede the dropout. Fifth and last tackle. Keeping the pressure on. Little jink through, and that again is going to be taken dead by Richard Gay. Going to the blight side, Paul March. And that's the fifth and last. Pearson jinks it through. And again, that's going to be kicked dead. So playing with a man down. Martin Pearson sensibly goes for the drop goal and gets the 1 point for all the efforts. That's what's needed. Aaron Raper gets the ball away to Gareth Hanford, who doesn't really know what to do with it. Runs round in a circle and then gets tackled. Danny Orr flicks back to Adrian Vowles. Vowles, the man who always causes the damage against Wakefield, allowed to slip through some shoddy tackling on 48 minutes. And Adrian Vowles opens the scoring for the Tigers. Hanford gets the ball out to Smith, running across. And then the try scored, I think, by Michael Smith. The Tigers come forward with Michael Eager. Eager brought down by Tutupu. Eager not happy about something. Is Andy Lynch back on? Lynch gets the ball out to Raper. Raper further out to Orr. There's a big gap. And there's a big gap for Michael Smith. And Smith scores. Last tackle. 7.5 minutes of the match remaining, plus any stoppages. And that's taken by Mark Lennon. And that's going to be a score. Barry John Mather. Camforth out to Hudson. Hudson running across the face to Jamie Field. Was Sovataboa brought back in. Sovataboa running towards them sticks. That's a good ball. That's an even better ball. And that's a try. And that Julian O'Neill. Or was that Gary Price?
Initial thoughts, very disappointed. Bags of commitment, bags of effort by everyone in the team. We can't fault that. Play a little bit smarter today, and I think we win.
Predominantly a forwards battle up the middle of the field, but we seem to use Neil Law and Sovataboa well.
Yeah, the two guys were really keen on work, and they've both gone well again today.
A couple of points on your role this year as acting coach. What's that involving for you?
Well, my main role obviously is playing still, but I'm John's assistant. And I help out with the training and team matters, and I'm enjoying it very much at the moment.
You're not finding any difficulty detaching yourself from sort of one of the lads to one of the coaching staff?
No.
That was a nice quick answer. So next week against Bradford?
Yeah, looking forward to it. If we can fix up the mistakes we've made today and we can learn from them, which is a big thing, I'm certain we can do well next week.
Thanks very much, Gary. Matthew gets the ball further out to Harris. And Ryan Hudson! Hudson's going to be it! Oh, it's Paul March, not Ryan Hudson. Paul March picks the ball up. And Paul March on 38 minutes. Does the referee give the try? Does he listen to the touch judge? Harris has got something to say again. He's going to give a knock on. So 40 minutes on the clock. Just playing injury time for the Tony Tatupu incident. Paul March, that's a good ball to Jamie Field, and Jamie Field gets it to Sovataboa. Sovataboa! Right on 40 minutes, Sovataboa. And this time the try is going to go down. Martin Pearson, that's a good ball to Richard Smith, to Neil Law. Brought down by Mullins and Sinfield. Martin Pearson going for the corner, but stopped short. And Pearson injured. Managed to get up and play the ball. It's with Ryan Hudson. A little jink forward from Hudson. And the ball touched down by Ben Router. The referee, yes, he gets a try. And I'm sure that was Ben Router who touched down. And again, Matthew receives a ball which looks suspiciously forward from Carl Pratt. The ball comes out the back door. Pratt. Chev Walker, I think. Andy Hay, good tackle on Andy Hay. Jamie Field put his body on the line. Harris sees a little gap. Harris brought down by Holland. But Tony Carroll again, does he score? The referee's not giving it. Referee's not giving the fourth try to Tony Carroll. Pratt out to Harris. Matthew loses the ball, but the referee says that went backwards. Clyde, Harris, Sinfield just holds the ball up for Tony Carroll. And Tony Carroll's show this evening for the Rhinos. Again, just cuts through. Yestin Harris doing his usual running around in circles act. A good tackle on Mullins by Frank Watini. Pratt scores a try from acting half. Forward Barry McDermott. On the ball out, this is Senior. Senior to Cummins. Cummins going to score under the post. Bradley Clyde. Tony Carroll this time picked up by Paul March. That was a good tackle. Again, Martin Holland in there to stuff out the initial danger. Paul March with a try saver. Oh, and a bit of luck there. Carl Pratt's going to be in. And what a bit of good fortune there. The ball was loose. And all Harris could do was just palm it backwards. Julian O'Neill taking the first hit up again. Gonna wear this defence down. Frank Watini. Watini makes the break. That was a good bust by Frank Watini. Ryan Hudson, the dummy runner. Jamie Field coming in at the angle. Router spins it out to Davis. Davis a little jink over. And that's beautifully caught by Summer-Tabua. Was early Summer-Tabua after just 8.5 minutes. It's a long ball out to Martin Pearson. Runs the angle as Martin Pearson brings the defence over with him. Good tackle. Eventually rampaging Willie Poaching. Richard Smith. Ben Router going to the short side. That's to Neil Lowe. Neil Lowe! Neil Lowe! In for a score on 15.5 minutes. Good play by Ben Router to the short side. Pearson brings Willie Poaching in. Poaching through the hands of Davis on to Paul Jackson. Jackson just trying to stretch out. Davis. That's a good ball to Ryan Hudson. Mercer gives it a bit of width. Damien Gibson just dropped gleefully on that. Last tackle. It's back to clinch. And a big gap opens up for Daniel Cardis. Looked like he'd scored. Cardis tackled well. But dummy half going nowhere. The ball dropped on but lost. It was dropped on by one of the Wakefield players, and it was dropped on again by one of the Halifax players, Brett Goldspink. And the referee has given the try. Well, it's Davis onto Hudson, onto Jamie Field. Ben Router taking charge. Davis, Martin Pearson. That's a good ball to Richard Smith. Richard Smith's over. The referee right on the spot to see Richard Smith score after 64 minutes.
Right, John, your first win as coach in Super League. What's the initial reaction?
That's a good feeling, isn't it? It's a lot better than losing. No, it's a good feeling. Good atmosphere in the rooms.
mind you, it's been there all the time. You know, even when we've lost, it's been a good team spirit. So I think I'm just glad they've got a win to show the boys that what we've been doing is right, and that's their reward.
Steve Hall swarmed upon. Sean Long again. Long just looking to get the ball out, but it's to Cunningham. The other hands are fairly. Cunningham, such an elusive runner. Brought down by Neil Law. Kevin Iro in the corner. Kevin Iro takes a short ball, 11 minutes into the game. Cunningham acting half. Ball not played properly. So it's Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe to Newlove. Newlove gets over. Too strong at all there to be tackled. Newlove on full flight. So the Wildcats really need to score. Just get them off the mark. Davis, Jamie Field. Field within the 10-metre zone. Out to Davis, couple long passes. Martin Pearson. That's a good ball to Poaching, and that's to Neil Law, but Neil Law's in touch. Neil Law not very far of scoring, but pushed into touch. Wellens on to Long, couple of long balls out. Yonkers. And Justin Brooker just came on second best in that collision. This one in the corner for Anthony Sullivan. So it's been a bit barren free from the first 15 minutes. Brooker. Sowatabua going from acting half. Surely a consolation try for all the efforts. Must be on the cards. Keith Mason. Mason just pushed back but goes on another run. Good second effort from Keith Mason. The ball bobbled to Paul Jackson. Paul Jackson, has he scored? The referee's going to have a word with the in-goal judge. Is he going to give the try? No. Matautia. Tackle by Holland round the ankles. Dwayne West. Dwayne West surely not going to score at the death. Jinx one way then the next. Paul Wellens in. Right on the dead. And Robbie Paul to Deacon. Paul Deacon getting back to Forshaw, and then Reagan. Reagan brought down, good tackle from Graham Law. Radford onto Deacon, a little jink through, and that's for Robbie Paul. And was Robbie Paul onside? Well, neither touches nor the referee thought he was offside, so the score is given with only 6 minutes on the clock. Charge down. Oh, the referee waves 6. Well, I'm sure that would have classed as charge down, but referee gives 6 to go. Mike Forshaw. Sure you can't be even 6 in a situation like that. Robbie Paul. Out to Leon Price in the corner, and a little bit fortunate the Bulls getting the 6 to go from what primarily was a charge down. Frank Wattini, quick hands out to Jamie Field. Jamie Field makes the break. It's on to Sowatabua. Sowatabua just steps straight past Leon Price. Brought down in the end by Regan. Willie Poachin steps off the left foot. Willie Poachin makes that break. And that's a good ball on to Neil Law. Neil Law still going. Neil Law's in. Neil Law's in under the post. 16 minutes gone. A good try by the big winger. 5th and last tackle. It's back to Martin Pearson. Pearson jinks past Lowe's. Instead of the big kick downfield, he goes for the little kick. He bounces nicely. Martin Pearson's in space. And it's out to Neil Law. Is Neil Law going to be in? Neil Law's in the corner. Excellent work from Martin Pearson. 21 minutes gone and the Wildcats draw level with the Bradford Bulls. Tabor very close, but bundled back by about 4 tacklers. The ball comes loose in the tackle. The referee says that went backwards.
Go on, get over.
So close there from Jamie Field.
Yes!
That's a try, right by the post to Ryan Hudson. The referee going to have a word with the in-goal judge. The in-goal judge gives the drop out. As Paul Jackson charges forward. It's a good run by Jacko. David March on. David March! It's going to be in the corner! And David March, what a try! 61 minutes gone, David March just on from the bench. His first match in Super League this season. Been fraught with injuries, just jinks away from acting half and gets into the corner. Puts the Wildcats 4 points ahead of the Bulls. Paul Jackson eventually picks himself up. Pearson, it's a little jink over into space. And what's Tabor? Can he pick up? That's going to be a try, surely. Is that going to be David March again? David March, has he done it again? The referee's having a word with the in-goal judge. The try not yet given. Oh, and gives a knock on. Surely the hooter can't have long now. Henry Paul out to Deacon. They're loading up the left-hand side of the Bulls. And then the tackle made. And the hooter goes. And the referee, has he blown the whistle? The referee blown the whistle. The hooter's gone. And the Wildcats, they've beaten Bradford Bulls 16 points to 12 in what can only be described as an emphatic victory. Here down at Bellevue, Neil Law doing the damage in the first half with 2 fine tries. Dave March bamboozling the defence and scoring a try in the 61st minute. Martin Pearson with 2 well-taken goals. The Bulls in reply from Robbie Paul and Lee Gilmore. Paul Deacon with 2 goals. But the Wildcats have beaten the Bradford Bulls in
How's it feel then to get a win over the side like that?
Great, mate. Honestly, fantastic. It's probably the best win. You know, we won against Halifax and we really worked hard for that win, but that win was just, it was amazing.
You seem to have slotted into things down at Wakefield. Enjoying your time down here?
Yeah, I really do. I'm enjoying my time here. The guys are great, you know, and we're a tight little unit, and it's, you know, we're coming along really well.
The spirit that John Albion seems to have got into the side certainly showed through tonight. All 17 men played the part.
He's a fantastic coach. He's you know, he's the best I've been coached by. He gets the guys all together, and we really gel together. You know, we're all mates. I don't think there's one person on the side, you know, who's not mates. And I think, you know, it shows out in the field that we're all mates and that we're tight and we're willing to work for each other. So it's really good.
Frank Watini running straight there into Richard Marshall, the prop forward. Julian O'Neill gets it back out there to Martin Pearson. Pearson sees a little bit of a gap. Pearson brought down on the Giants 20-metre line, 5th and last tackle. March out to Poachin. Poachin has a good ball. And the ball back to Ben Router. That's going to be a try. The referee steps back, points to the spot where Ben Router got the ball down. And the Wildcats, after 5 minutes, take the lead, 4 points to 0. Inches from the line. O'Neill. O'Neill plays the ball to Ben Router. Pearson running the angle. That's a short ball to Jamie Field. Jamie Field, is he over? The referee says that he is. So Jamie Field with an excellent try after 11.5 minutes. Ryan Hudson gets it out to Pearson. A long, speculative pass on to Willie Poachin. The ball dropped. Went backwards. It's to Martin Holland. Martin Holland's got Ben Router. Ben Router! Just on the side of the post. Well, what unselfishness by Martin Holland. I'm sure he could have made that himself, but unselfish by the fullback. Make sure of the 4 and most probably the 6.
Rowley. Ben Custo gets the ball out to McNamara. Resounding boos from the Wakefield faithful. Martin Gleeson. And that's a good try to the Huddersfield Giants. Rowley. Dummies to the left, goes to the right. Lomax, that's a good ball on to Graham Appo. Appo gets over and Appo scores the try. 34 minutes and the fullback Graham Appo twists and turns. It's all a bit scrappy at the moment.
18, Chris Molyneux, number 10, Dale Walton.
Dale Lawn back on the field in place of Chris Molyneux, and that's going to be a good try from Ben Custo. Ben Custo allowed to get a good angle. 20 seconds remaining of normal time. McNamara. That's about. Oh, what's Sotomayor with Robert? He jumps about. 5 seconds remaining. Sotomayor scores what's going to be the winning try. Oh, what can you say about that?
4 points over Easter, John. You must be a happy man.
Yeah, good Easter. And I don't know if it's right or not, but somebody up there said we're the only team in Super League to get 4 points over this Easter break, so we're happy, all right.
Certainly a hard-fought victory today.
Yeah, well, I can't handle too many of them. You know, I think we're only bringing the club doctor to look after me at the moment, but the heart will go before the end of the season if this keeps up.
Well, Southampton just been talking to Neil Lawn. He wants to learn the dance routine.
He's got a lot to learn, mate. It's just something happened, you know. You just celebrate the game, so you know it's kind of tries you got to score, and then you know it's a good feeling.
I was saying on the commentary though about 15 minutes ago that it was just going to take one break. It was going to cause the upset for either side, and you got it right on the day.
Oh, it just happened, you know. I was just being lucky this day, just reading the plays, and you know it just happened for me. So you know I'm really proud of myself there. So.
The Broncos coming forward to Jim Dimmock. Dimmock gets the ball away. But good tackling by the Wildcats. Towering kick downfield. Bounces up nicely. Sovatabo slips. The ball picked up by Greg Fleming. And a good chase by the Broncos. With about 4 minutes on the clock. Dooley, what a run by the prop forward, runs right through a big yawning gap, and it's on to Greg Fleming. Fleming's going to be under the sticks, there's no way he's going to be caught, and Greg Fleming's second try, about 20 minutes of the game gone. No, that was Scott Cram, it must have been Dooley who took the knock. Dimmock, it's out to Barnett, Stockwell, I'm going to say stopped by Sovatabua, but Richie Barnett got through some poor attempted tackles. Tullett, Gillett, back out to Barnett. Barnett is over the line. Paul Hanforth breaks the line. Paul Hanforth's going to score the try. And the Hanforth's been threatening that all afternoon. 1.5 minutes from the end of normal time gives the crowd that stayed behind something to cheer about. Alker, Blakely, Holroyd. There's an overlap, Warren Jowett. And that's going to be a try. Francis Maloney. Oh, and the pass could have gone out there to Ryan Hudson, but it was just covered by the Salford defence. Gary Price is in for the try. Spreading out to the open side, Paul March onto Paul Jackson. Paul Jackson. Ryan Hudson, acting half, looking to go himself.
Needs a ball out. And that's a good ball too. Is it Jamie Field? Jamie Field, the man with the score. That's a good ball. That's out with Justin Brooker. Brooker stops, just looks for backup, and he's got backup. And what a run from Paul March! Paul March gets the ball out to Gary Price! Gary Price in for the second try. The Wildcats third. And what a try that was. Malcolm Alker. Darren Brown. That's a good short ball to Mike Wainwright. And then Maloney. Me opening my big mouth saying Maloney's not been in it. And all of a sudden he comes up to take a ball off an inside pass off Mike Wainwright. Big hit on Graham Law. The ball eventually out with Tiger. Paul Hanford gets away and he's out to Sowetaboa. Sowetaboa! He's got him in over the line. What a try to Wazeli Sowetaboa. 52 minutes on the clock. Hammond, Holroyd, Alker. The ball eventually, that went forward. Colby, well that ball went forward, that bounced forward. Fifth and last tackle. Nick Pinkney over in the corner. Alker out to Blakely. That's going to be a try by Colby. And Colby gets the try, but as we said, it's come from some very weird decisions by the officials. Dave March to Poaching. Brings it out to Paul Hanford. That's a good ball. It's a better ball to Brooker. Justin Brooker gets the try on 73 minutes. And Justin Brooker's been threatening the try all evening. Willie Poaching, Neil Law. Neil Law still going. Neil Law inches away on the last tackle. Kick forward by Willie Poaching. And we're 5 seconds into injury time at the moment. Oh, that's a silly ball. Oh, it's a try. Justin Brooker. The referee points to the spot. Yes, you beauty.
Working it tomorrow with the ball. He goes and stands outside centre. You're there, and he will shift around. Yeah. You've got Jason Smith wherever he goes. If he comes off me, half time you go in their room.
Well, when he comes off and has a bloody drink, you keep you eyeball him. You're with him wherever he goes. If you do 15 tackles, and everyone's got to be him.
Willie Poaching operating standoff this afternoon, a good ball onto Jamie Field with Martin Pearson playing it scrum half.
It's a good high kick. And was Sowataboa gets the ball. Was he in front? The referee steps back. He's going to point to the spot. Waseli Sowataboa gets the first points at Wilderspool. Langer, switch out to McCurry. McCurry gets the ball out to Rob Smythe. Rob Smythe cuts back inside. Rob Smythe's quick and he's going to go under the post. 8.5 minutes gone. Rob Smythe from the wing cuts back inside. Unfortunately, there's nobody going to catch him at that. O'Neill gets the ball back, and that's pretty poor, but Doré picks it well. And back out to Jackson to Router. Ryan Hudson goes himself. Hudson's going to be in. Hudson scores the try. Ryan Hudson after 25.5 minutes. The referee confirms the try's been scored. Clark, Langer. That's going to be a try scored by Warrington. Nick Howe runs into Pearson. Ryan Hudson again there in the tackle. Eventually get Nick Howe down on his back. Clark. Busby goes through a big open space. And that's for Sibbett. And that was a big wide open space on the Wildcats right centre. Keith Mason. Certainly don't know any other way but forwards. Keith Mason, same as Paul Jackson. They're brought forwards in the same mould on the field at the moment. Jamie Field. Jamie Field is over the line. And again, niggling about in the tackle, the Wolves, but the referee gives a try. Keith Mason. Nowhere to go in all the heavy traffic, Keith Mason. The ball wants spreading out. Doherty. Oh, and Sowataboa is going to be under the sticks. Leaves Alan Hunt for dead. Straight past Alan Hunt as if he wasn't there. Quick play the ball from Clark, back to Langer. Spins the ball out to Breers. Forward pass. A mile forward. The referee's going to give it. Keith Mason, well picked up. That's a penalty. His legs went above the horizontal, so that's a penalty. That's in the rules. Paul Jackson. Perhaps they're playing advantage. If we don't score a try, then they'll give the penalty. That's a joke. Manny Pearson goes through, and Pearson scores under the sticks. 57 minutes, and then again a little bit of niggling from the Wolves after the score. Perhaps it's the player that missed the tackle knows that perhaps next week he'll be in the Alliance side. Dane Donoghue going out a good win against Wellington Wolves, eventually winning 30 points to 24. How does it feel?
Mate, great. Any win's good, especially to come here and get a good win against such a physical side.
I've not seen you play full-back before. You dropped in there for the injured Martin Holland. How are you relishing it?
I love it. I just love being out there. I'm just glad that John showed the faith in him to get me back after such a bad injury I had last year. But to play anywhere on the field, and I'll fit in anywhere. You know, fullback I'm enjoying it at the moment, so if I can keep my spot, then good. Just want to keep playing well.
So how are the lads feeling after today? Because it's been a pretty bad loss today.
Well, it's a bad loss, do you know what I mean? But I think we can take heart a lot in the second half performance. But obviously it's an 80-minute rugby game, and we probably weren't at the races for the first 40 minutes. So the boys will be disappointed in themselves, because they were fired up all during the week for the game, and we've just got to pick ourselves up. We've got a barbecue on tomorrow, so that'll do good for team bonding and team morale.
Pearson plays the ball to Willie Poaching back inside. Poaching, difficult man to put down. Gets within the 10. Poaching eventually gets to his feet. And Davis, Hudson back to field, back to Julian O'Neill. O'Neill strains it up. O'Neill's going in. O'Neill scores. Julian O'Neill with the power after 14.5 minutes. Jamie Bloom runs into Jamie Field and picked up and dumped. But Bloom not happy. A swinging punt at Jamie Field, and Jamie Field just retaliating. There's going to be 2 players in the bin, I'm afraid. And Robert Conley just stands aside and watches. The officials just don't get involved nowadays. And Jamie Field dispatched to the sin bin. And surely Jamie Bloom as well, I should imagine. 10 metres from their own line, Dunniman gets the ball and sees a big gap. And what a big gap for Andrew Dunniman. Neil Law's chasing him, gets the ball to Damien Gibson. And what an absolute yawning gap for Andrew Dunniman. The defence ran in different directions, just gave him a bus pass and he was through. Poaching out the back door to Brad Davis. Davis to Router. And then Router takes a tackle from Jamie Bloom. Davis, it's a high kick. And the ball lost, and Julian O'Neill's going to score his second. And he does. The referee runs back, points to the spot. O'Neill, the man to take the loose ball. 43 minutes on the clock. Brett Goldspink plays the ball on the 20-metre line. Now with Moana. Damien Gibson. Gibson to Moana. Moana's in the corner. So with 51 minutes gone, Martin Moana brings the game level. Tackle there by Hanforth. And that's a good tackle, the ball coming loose, but Lawless picks up. Good tackling by Hanforth. 8 minutes on the clock. Dunniman. McMenemy. That's a good kick downfield. Looks like Stuart Donlan might have scored. He has. Not to be fooled. Jamie Field though managed to get the ball away well. Ben Router into a big open gap. Router on his own is looking for Sowertabo back on the inside. Sowertabo slips, picks himself back up, gets onto the 10-metre line. The ball out to Justin Brooker. Brooker into the 10-metre zone. Excellent play from the Wildcats. Good field position. Doherty onto Martin Pearson. Brad Davis onto Poaching. Gets the ball back in a 1-2. Hooks the ball over his shoulder to Neil Law. Neil Law takes the tackle, 5th and last. 9 metres out. Ben Westwood acting half. Sean Hoppy well offside, but the referee quite happy to let it go on. And the ball missed, and Sowertabo falls on the ball after only a minute and a half. And a big blunder there by, I think, Anthony Sullivan. Took a swipe at the ball and missed. Sculthorpe. Wellens, Cunningham, that's out to Iro. And Igo just barges past Brad Davis, scores in the corner. Joint plays the ball. Cunningham doing what he does best from short range. Sculthorpe out to Fairley, back to Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe sees a gap. Sculthorpe is in at the side of the post. Davies, short ball onto Jackson. Then Doré onto Willie Poaching. Poaching steps off that left foot and he does so well. And Poaching, he's got man on either side. Then Doré, the man that's going to be in. Then Doré nearly slides into advertising hoardings. 23 minutes gone. And that's a good break by Willie Poaching in midfield. Just stepped off that left foot. Then Doré on one side, Neil Law on the other. And Doré, the man that gets the 4 points. Cunningham got himself but held up. Wellens spins the ball out quick, but that's a good tackle by Frank Watini. The big Kiwi there, just not going to be taking him, but Sculthorpe into a big gap on the left hand side of the post. Paul Sculthorpe, with 32 minutes gone, puts the Saints back in the lead. Willie Poaching. And Davies out to Dane Doré. Doré, that's a ball out to Brooker. That's a good ball. Justin Brooker.
Go on, Justin, go on. Yes!
Gets the ball down. Surely Justin Brooker. What a second effort by the centre. Yonkers to Joint. Joint hooks the ball out so well to Fairley. And a tackle round the ankles by Gary Price. Sculthorpe. Peter Shields into a big yawning gap. Then Doré came out of the line and the big gap was left. Davies, a long ball out to Brooker. Brooker hooks it back up to field, back on to Gary Price. Davies. And that's a good one for Neil Law. Neil Law, is he going to drop on it? Has he got it down? But the in-goal judge has stood back. The referee has a word with the touch judge. And points to the spot. He's given the try to Neil Law. 59 minutes. Couldn't really see from up here whether Neil Law actually got the ball down. Cunningham. Sculthorpe. Yonkers. Yonkers into a big gap again. Yonkers is over. O'Neill. Router to Doré. It's Davies. That's a good ball to Ben Westwood, and that's back to Graham Law. Graham Law scores a good try. Graham Law like that on 70 minutes puts the Wildcats back in contention. 24 points to 28 with the kick to come. Doré spins a long ball out to Brad Davies, and another long ball out to Ben Westwood. Westwood! Westwood's over the line! But no, the referee says he didn't ground the ball, they knocked it on. Won't be in a rush to play the ball. Peter Shields. Shields hooks the ball out and does that so well. Sonny Nicol. Good tackle on Nicol. Cunningham. And Sculthorpe. Paul Sculthorpe had to be the man to get that. Regan. An initial tackle from Paul Jackson. Robbie Paul. The Gardner. Gardner through and Gardner will score. Gardner pushes off some high-parted tackling, scores on 3 minutes. Yes, the top four get the run of the decisions, but when it's pretty blatant, it's a little bit difficult to cover up. But the powers that be will get their wishes come true in a couple of seasons if they go on. And they
Nathan McAvoy, scored into a big opening. Pass on to Michael Withers. And Withers is going to score. And Withers goes and scores. A good try made by Nathan McAvoy. Henry Paul to Joe Vagana, back to Henry Paul. A big gap opens up for Henry Paul. Router spins it out to Davis, further on to Dane Doherty. Doherty jinks, head goes back as he runs into Joe Vagana. And Dane Doherty comes in for a bit more treatment. And Brad Davis kicking over for Neil Law. The ball back to Mike Pearson. Mike Pearson's in. 10 metres out from the Bulls line. Dane Doherty onto Brad Davis. And Davis back to Jamie Field. Field hooks the ball up to Neil Law. Neil Law's seen a little gap. Neil Law's over the line as he got the ball down. The referee says he's held up over the line. Davis gets the ball out. Doherty spins it out there to Ben Westwood. Westwood trying to get past Leon Price. So Leon Price certainly doing his work since he came on. 2 try-saving tackles he's made. Martin Pearson hooks the ball up to Gary Price. And the gap comes. Gary Price scores the try.
I first did my knee back into the '98 season, I think it was, when we were in First Division. Just after the grand final, we played in a French tournament with 3 English and 3 French teams. Then it was into the second game. Just stepping off my left foot, felt I think 2 cracks in it, and just went down. Really, no one tackled me, and didn't really realise how bad it was. Just carried on training, I think, and I just started giving way every so often. And finding out how bad it was pretty good, really. My lowest point was probably missing out on all the games, seeing all your teammates playing week in, week out, and not being able to do anything. That was very disappointing. And but I knew if I'd give 100%, over a long period of time, I'd eventually get back, which is what I have done. I've had a few other sports interests in the past. Played football and badminton. I tried a bit of golf, but not very good. But at football, I signed schoolboy forms for Bradford City. I was 14 to 16, but in the last year they were going to release me, and they asked me if they wanted my name passing on to any other club, but I'd lost interest at that time and was already down at Wakefield, so I didn't bother. I came down to Wakefield with a mate from school. Terry Crook was in charge of the academy then, and Dave Topless the first team. Played a few games on the wing to start with. I think we won a competition that year, which was pretty good. And one of the biggest influences in rugby to start with was probably Terry Crook. When I first came down, I really enjoyed it, made it enjoyable sessions. But as looking at as a player, probably Andrew Leeds. He was very solid at full-back, didn't put a foot wrong really or anything, so I thought I'd try and be like him really. Family have always given me a lot of support playing rugby, my mum and dad and my wife, and it's really helped me a lot throughout my career. Probably my greatest memories would be winning the grand final. That was really good. A lot of up and down that game, and probably first team match at Whitehaven, ended up scoring on my debut. I don't think I got picked for the team till about Wednesday midweek, so it was really good, and to end up scoring a try and winning because we hadn't won there for a few years. Really made it a good day.
McNamara again gets the ball out of the scrum, just taken on the half volley there by Brandon Cross in the standoff. Stanley Jean, acquisition from Humberside. Paul Rowley jinking over as he got the ball down. The referee says he has, it looked to be on his back.
with only 6 minutes gone, and it, as we said, come from 2 wildcat mistakes to give them the field position. And back with Ben Custo, and that's Costin running into a big open space. And Costin scores a try in 18 minutes, just ran into a big wide open space. Sovatabo, ex of Huddersfield, of course. You can tell by the jeers he gets from the Huddersfield faithful. Doré spins the ball out to Brad Davis. Brad Davis back to Willie Pochin. Willie Pochin's in space, and Willie Pochin gets the pass away to that man, Brad Davis. Brad Davis gets the try for the Wildcats, and that's better football from the Wildcats. Then Doré, a little kick, backs himself, and Brad Davis, oh, just couldn't take it. And Paul Riley tackled by Keith Mason, but David Atkins just gets caught by Sovatabo. And the ball flicked out to Andrew Frew, and that's a good Huddersfield try on 33 minutes. Keith Mason taking the ball in. It's the ball out to Router. Hudson out to Doré, spins a long ball out to his half-back partner Brad Davis. Willie Pochin back to Davis. There's a gap opened up for Neil Law. Neil Law's in the corner. And Custo to Lomax. Lomax stopped by Router, but out the back door to Custo. Shouldn't have been allowed to pass that. Stanley Jean into a big open space. And Stanley Jean does what we've seen him do so often down here at Bellevue. Cuts the defence to ribbons. Into Pochin. The ball hooked out to Stanley Jean. Stanley Jean gets the ball out to Brandon Costin. Costin is on a home run again to the line. And no problem at all for Brandon Costin, with only 6.5 minutes of the second half gone, gets his second try. Custo, Costin. Riley coming in from the full-back position, and straight through Ben Westwood. And Paul Riley, in 60 minutes, gets another try for the Giants. The ball out to Pochin. Pochin trying to step through one, then the other, hooks the ball back, picked up well by Martin Pearson. Pearson to Neil Law. Neil Law's going to be in. Neil Law scores the try. Good work from Martin Pearson on the blind side. This is really the pressure we needed in the first half, not in the dying seconds of the second half. Sovatabo goes through the defence, and Sovatabo scores and then goes looking for Paul Riley. Well, silly play, just leave it alone. He's scored the points, nothing can take that away. Stanley Jean. High kick with the left foot. Martin Pearson loses the ball under pressure, and David Atkins scores at the side of the post. With 86 minutes played, David Atkins scores at the side of the post. 5 games without a win before today, John, but 100% commitment today really should have ended that run. What went wrong?
Mate, I just think we were just joined as a team, you know, and like I just said to the press conference there, I'll never bag individuals in my team, but I'll have a word to the players tomorrow. I think right now it's too close to just after the game. But we got beaten by a better team, you know, and full credit to them. They deserve their win, and you know, a team that hasn't won for how many games I don't know, but they won today, and good luck to them. But we've got a few problems to address, and what Huddersfield did was probably helped me by highlighting them problems.
Today's not worried you too much then?
No, mate, no. Mate, the dog licks you when you get home, you still go to the toilet. Everything everybody else does happens. It just, you know, like life goes on.
Life does go on, but for the Speckies, life sort of muddles through to Monday morning when they've lost. Nobody seems to like it. But what about London next week then?
Mate, you know, I know what you're saying about the spectators, and that's right, and we've got a real good, loyal band of spectators. But I'll tell you what, the players were disappointed after this game when they went up to give them a clap, and the Speckies quite a few of them had gone home. You know, we're in this ride together, the good times and the bad times. So, you know, it's all right to be full of enthusiasm for Wakefield when we win, and now's the time we need people around us.
I couldn't agree more, but I do see the Specky's point of view as well. It is difficult when we've lost, but we've got London next week, a long trip down to Charlton to the Valley. So how do you see the outcome of that?
Well, you know, London drew with Huddersfield last week, so we're probably playing a team on a par with the one we played today. But, you know, I'm worried about our performance, not London, so we've got a bit of work to do this week, but we'll do it. You know, none of us are walking away from it like some people did today. And it's all right saying, you know, times are bad and times are tough, and you've got to see from their point of view, when the times are tough, people stick together. Because we're talking about being a family, and, you know, it's all right sticking when times are good, but that's the first thing the players noticed after the game. First thing.
So 11 minutes of the match gone, the ball spun out to Brad Davis, and it's on to Willie Poaching. Poach has a good ball to Ben Westwood. Westwood through the half gap, Sylvian Houle making the tackle. And from dummy half, Willie Poaching takes a little run, and Willie Poaching, we know his strengths, but he's inches short. The ball comes to the short side, and it's out to Justin Brooker. Brooker jinks, and Brooker's in the corner. Brooker jinks straight past Marvin Golden, the ex-Leeds Rhinos player, on the wing. Brooker looked like he was going to go back inside, and after 11 and a half minutes, the deadlock broken. The first try scored, the Wildcats winger Justin Brooker. Dooley. So the Broncos just inside the Wildcats half, and this is going to be a try. And then a little bit cheeky. A little bit cheeky as Nigel Roy just jinks past the defender in the in-goal area. Ran out to Rachelers, to Dooley. Dimmock, that's a good ball to Andy Johnson. Andy Johnson just stands Martin Holland up and scores under the sticks. Jamie Field onto Ryan Hudson. Fifth and last tackle. Davy March spins it back to Doré. Doré just off the end of the toe. And Willie Poaching! Is Willie Poaching going to be awarded the try? Was he onside? Both touch judges have run through. The touch judge on this side has not run through. Just going to have a word with Cal Kirkpatrick, and I bet they give offside against Willie Poaching. And Kirkpatrick is going to go and point to the spot, I feel. The touch judges now have run through, and he points to the spot for Willie Poaching. Jones on to Farrell. Farrell left boot, high in the air. One for Neil Law to take. Knocks it back for Martin Holland. But Brett Dallas, the man who comes up with it. Martin Holland making the tackle. Ferner just being allowed to run. And Ferner, I feel, over the line. The try to Ferner. Farrell. Jones, out to Johns. Ferner, out to Brett Dallas. Dallas running in, running out. Just unfortunately beats Martin Holland for speed. Collared well there by Julian O'Neill. That's a high kick. Looking for Sovatabua. Sovatabua takes it. It's taken in the air. Surely was off the ground when he was hit. David March spins the ball out to Doré. Doré jinks to the left, sees a gap. And then Doré gets the ball out to Paul March. And then Doré made that for Paul March. And the nearest man to the referee is a metre offside. David March hooks the ball out well to Gary Price. Jamie Field, Paul March. And Wigan just blocked what would have been a final pass. He got out well though to Jamie Field. Nicely to Dane Doré! Dane Doré! He's under the sticks on 55 minutes. What excellent play from the little scrum half. And then Doherty slots the 1 point over. Nonchalantly takes the 1 point. Bibby. That's a good tackle on Phil Jones. David March. Francis Stevenson. Into Farrell. Farrell just pushes away. And Farrell is going to score. And big Andy Farrell charges away. Newton back to Farrell for the drop goal. Farrell. Phil Jones. Dennis Bates. Swarming all over Dennis Bates. Newton. It's the ball out to Farrell. Farrell, that's a poor pass, but it bounces to Ferner. And Ferner gets the pass out to Paul Johnson.
Made Wigan work all this afternoon, and I think they were really fortunate to take the points at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think they're pretty fortunate to get the points as well. Our forwards, though, mate, they laid the platform for us, and the backs can't do anything unless our forwards are going forward. So all the credit really goes to them, which makes our day a lot easier.
You certainly had a good run of things though, with the kicking game and the try you scored yourself and the one you set up as well.
Yeah, mate. John set me a couple of goals, to break their line in attack, so which I think I did. So I was glad to achieve my goals, and like I said, it's just good to get our forwards going forward and giving us a good day.
Prescott onto Rayner. Rayner stutters, tries to get past Ben Westwood and does. Gets past Neil Law as Neil Law covers the wing, but doesn't get past Martin Holland, but the ball out to Grimaldi, then out to Richard Horn. Richard Horn under the post. Paul King plays the ball quickly to Paul Cook. Paul Cook on his back on the line, doesn't get the ball down. Ball spun out, Jason Smith, Tony Smith, and with Steve Prescott. Prescott gets dumped unceremoniously there by Paul March. Grimaldi to Tony Smith. A little kick through. And that's a touchdown, is it, by Matt Crowther? The replacement's going to be made. Gary Price is going off. He's going to be replaced by number 25, Tommy Hockey. Jamie Field spins the ball out to Paul March. It was a good ball to Ben Westwood, and Ben Westwood's in a big gap. Ben Westwood's going to score. Good play from Ben Westwood, equally good play from Paul March. He saw the gap. Ryan Hudson. Dave March. Keith Mason. A good ball inside to Justin Brooker, and Brooker's in open space. Brooker's going to score under the sticks. And that's an excellent inside ball. Justin Brooker on 67 minutes gets the second try for the Wildcats. And Paul King, the ball to Tony Smith and Steve Prescott. And Prescott being chased by Brooker, but scores under the post. Richard Horn, tackled by Tom Hockey. The ball out with Paul Cook and Sova-Tabor, the interception, consolation try, and Sova-Tabor gets the ball down. Looked like he might just lose it there as he was toying with Jason Smith. As Guy say, the prop forward now to Erin Nikau. Nikau with a good ball to Tokoilov. Tokoilov is going to go himself. Tokoilov backed himself all the way on 33 minutes. And the Warrington side holding down a lot in the tackle, but getting away with it. It's a good ball out to Sova-Tabor from Doherty. And Sova-Tabor back to Hudson, back to Brooker. Brooker to Martin Holland. Oh, if there had been somebody there. Dave Marsh just a little bit far back. I think for Martin Holland to see. That's Ryan Hudson out on the wing, and Ryan Hudson scores with a minute of injury time played. Sova-Tabor acting half. And that's to O'Neill.
Come on!
The ball spun out to Dane Doré. Doré to Paul March. There's a big gap, there's an overlap. Graham Law's over! Graham Law's over in 47 minutes. You got to see the overlap on this side. 3 against 2. Graham Law in the centre position. Langer onto Nicow. Nicow jinks, but takes the tackle. Then Ben Westwood and Coilov. Stenhouse in, Keith Mason on, he's in. But Ben Westwood got a couple of good right hooks in there. And then Alan Hunt comes in and pushes Ryan Hudson from behind. There's absolutely no reason for Hunt to get involved. No reason at all. Well, Alan Hunt should be in the sin bin for this. He came in when there was absolutely nothing to do with him and clouted Ryan Hudson from behind. Well, that's not the done thing. If you're going to fight somebody, at least you've got to face them and fight. And he ran in and hit Ryan Hudson from behind. He is eventually ready to take the kick. And he's hooked it left of the post. Doré onto Sovitabo. Sovitabo in a bit of space. And back to Brooker. Brooker taking without the ball. And how can he let that go? I cannot believe what's going on here. And another Chamozzle start. And the referee really has just lost absolute and total control of this. Richard Silverwood, absolutely no control. And the passer looked a little bit forward to McCurry. John Clark backing himself, and Clark, did he get the ball down, or did Brooker get the ball down? The try's been given. He's down right on, well, just before the line. The referee says that's the last tackle. Lee Breers for the drop goal. And this time gets the drop goal. Scrambling defence as well. Dane Doré spins it out to Hudson.
Wait, there's a thing down there over there. Come on.
Hudson, long pass out, looking for Brad Davis and finds him. Davis chinks it through. Gareth Ellis scores! Gareth Ellis with 8 minutes on the clock. With John Abbott and Gary Price, just asked John about the protesters going on in the background, John, about the 4 points deducted in the league. What do you think of that?
Oh mate, it just shows that they're loyal Wakefield supporters and they're not happy with the points being taken away from us. 4 points which the players earn on the field. The players earn them for the fans and they've been taken away. So they're not happy and I don't blame them.
Into the left hand side. Driscoll brought forward, he's 5 metres away. And Bobby Goulding hooks the ball back inside, and that was a good ball to Jason Nichol, I think, who scored. Bottini. March, Doré, cut out pass there to Jamie Field, and then the ball passed straight to Martin Afire. Nobody's going to catch Afire as he runs down the wing. Afire doesn't look as fast as he used to be, but there's no way you're going to stop Martin Afire. Ben Westwood. Attack around the legs by Michael Wainwright, and Neil Baines over the top. Sovatabua. Ryan Hudson sees a little gap. Ryan Hudson's through the gap. And surely there's a try on here. He times the pass beautifully to David March.
and Ryan Hudson made that one, but backed up well by the hooker David March, and eventually they get the scoring off the ground. Nicely put on his back. Hancock breaks through 3 tackles and then stands Martin Holland up, and Hancock's going to score. Hancock's going to score under the sticks. And what a good try by Michael Hancock. 38 minutes gone. Hancock scores absolute pandemonium in the Wakefield defence since the game on. First tackle in this set of 6. Paul Jackson, they're having to take the ball standing still, not standing deep enough. Jackson does well to make 10 metres. The crowd getting behind them. And that's a good ball to Jamie Field. And an equally good tackle by Jamie Field by Chris Tassel. But they're in. The Wildcats score. Ryan Hudson, the man who made the first try, scores the second. Brad Davis spins it out to Paul March. Paul March takes a big whack from Michael Wainwright. The referee said that was on his shoulder. His shoulder must have ears. As Jacko charges forward. Good run by Paul Jackson. Quick play, the ball needed. Brad Davis. And that's a good ball! Jamie Field! The referee looks at the touch judges, points to the spot. 60 minutes gone. And Jamie Field scores a try. Surely from the kick this will be level pegging. And he had to come. They've peppered Martin of fire all this second half, conceded drop after drop out. Baines plays the ball. Goulding looking for the drop goal. And 1 point to the boot of Bobby Goulding. 17 points to 16 in favour of Salford. Hancock gets the ball away to Goulding. Goulding to Holroyd. Holroyd back to Hancock. Hancock gets the ball away to Stuart Littler, and that's the winner. Stuart Littler, 74 minutes. Good tackling, but good pass by Richie Barnett to Steele Retchless. London giving the ball a bit of air. And that's to Rob Parker, and that's to Scott Cram. Cram to Millard. Millard's going to be in. Millard's in at the side of the post. After 19 minutes. Millard tackled well. Pearson in there again. And that's a poor pass, but it's on the bounce to Parker. Parker tackled by Brad Davis. Moran onto Dimmock. Dimmock out to Barnett. That's a good ball to Fleming. Fleming runs through. A big gap in the middle. Jim Dimmock. Tackled by Graham Law. Fleming. Fleming gets away from 2. Fleming on a run, and it's with Tony Martin. Tony Martin scores the third. Well, Keith Mason was certainly impeded there, but he wouldn't have made it, I don't think, the big prop forward. Spins the ball out to Brad Davis. Davis back to Graham Law. Graham Law on to Martin Pearson, and that's to Neil Law. Neil Law in the corner, and that surely, that ball looked a mile forward. For the touch judge having a confab with the referee. The referee points to the spot. Well, I would say that ball was an absolute mile forward. Millard tackled. Glenair. Air acting half again onto Millard. Millard is over the side of the post.
Come on!
Dane Doherty stops, starts, but eventually the tackle made on him by Andy Johnson. Hanforth out to Davis. Davis a little kick over. That's for Sova Tabor to score in the corner.
And that's a good try, a good kick. Brad Davis, Doherty, Chris Feather. Chris Feather gets onto the 10-metre line. Neil Law acting half. Out to Davis. Long ball out to Willie Poaching. Poaching out to Gareth Ellis, who's going to be in the corner. Third try for the Wildcats of the afternoon. Gareth Ellis. Blakely. On to Allroyd. Allroyd tackled. 5 metres from the Wildcats line. Harmon. The ball spun out to Steve Blakely. Blakely back to the right hand side to Jason Nicholl. And Nicholl just slides over. 9 minutes gone. And Jason Nicholl gets the first try of the afternoon. Marche again out to Poaching. It's out to Pearson. Back inside to Dane Doherty. But Doherty just caught by the ankle. Just inches away from the line. Ryan Hudson. Kick through. And that's dropped on by Neil Law. The referee points to the spot. A little kick through from Ryan Hudson. Neil Law, the man who drops on it. And Davis. Ryan Hudson. Hudson breaks the first tackle. It's on to Gary Price. A good ball on to Brooker. Brooker in a bit of home space. And Brooker on to Davis. Davis gets it on to Dane Doherty. And Dane Doherty got the legs. Dane Doherty has got the legs. And Dane Doherty right under the sticks. What excellent teamwork. Paul Jackson on the field. Manning Pearson onto Poaching. Poaching bounce off one. Poaching is going to be in. Willie Poaching. 32 minutes and Willie Poaching scores the try that became his trademark at the beginning of the season. And really, it's not what you expect from one of Super League's top referees. But Brooker's going to come up with a try! And Justin Brooker, 55 minutes. And I was just there having a whinge about the referee. Brooker comes up with a loose ball and just walks in. Blakely slips, goes back to the left. And that ball was lost, I feel. Oh, the referee's given the try. Brown onto Maloney. Maloney takes a good ball. Maloney's going to be in. It's a good ball off Darren Brown to Maloney. The referee holds his handle off the last tackle. Martin Pearson this time got plenty more time. And the 1 point, have been calling for it all game. Martin Pearson gets the drop goal. Ball out to Allroyd, long ball out to Littler. Littler jinks past 2. Chris Tassel. The ball loose, but it comes to Maloney. So that's going to be a knock on against Francis Maloney. And the hooter goes! The Wildcats win 23-20. The obvious question, John, how do you feel?
Good, mate, good. It's like being in the desert for a long time and just coming on the oasis. We just had a little drink of the water. Now we want to keep going.
Well documented though. You've put your faith in these lads all season.
Yeah, that won't change. Doesn't matter how many games we lose. What the score is, we won't lose any faith in this lot.
I've heard what Lucy Halifax have done.
No, because they don't kick off till 6 o'clock tonight, do they?
Oh, it's an evening kick-off, they'll do this afternoon. We've got to plug on now next week and do a good job against Hull.
Yeah, that's right. Hull, then Halifax, then Huddersfield, then Salford again.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll keep us up, no doubt.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, John. Willie Poaching, excellent captain's role.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's pleasing that it's all over. No, like, we've got the duck off our back now. I hope we just turn around. I said last week we'll get one win and we'll turn a big corner, so hopefully we have today.
forward. Come on. At the moment, John, we lie 1 point in front of Huddersfield. We've got 3 games remaining. Can we do it?
Yeah, we can do it, but I still say we're 3 points ahead of Huddersfield. We earn those points. Nobody, other than the teams we play against, have got the rights to take them off us. You know? That's why these are coming through. Because somebody has interfered with what we're doing on the field. They know it's wrong. The fans know it's wrong. These aren't just Wakefield fans. In fact, none of these are Wakefield fans. We know what the Wakefield fans think. These are rugby league fans, and they know what's happened is wrong. These are just from fans from other clubs, mainly Hull, to be honest, and Salford, St Helens, who are sticking right with us. You know, without knowing any of these people, I'd say they're working class people who support working class clubs. And what the hierarchy do is make the mistake that they think working class people accept anything they decide to do, and we won't. You know, that's why we've had revolutions in history. And you know, there might be a rugby league revolution the way things are happening, because this proves that the working class supporters aren't going to accept anything the big guys want to throw at us. We're not going to accept everything they say. We're going to challenge them. So the solicitors, lawyers, the big money earners who think they run the game and who are going to make the decisions which affect the working class, if they think we're going to accept everything they say, they're totally wrong, and they don't know the force and the power of these people.
O'Neill just running a strong line of defence there, just one line, just waiting for him to go forward. That's a good ball to Neil Law from Raz Hudson. Hudson taking charge of the acting half at the moment. Brad Davis. Davis does well, that's a little kick over. And Cardoza, oh, headbutts that one straight into the arms of Ben Westwood. And that's going to be the first try of the evening on 18 minutes. Ben Westwood
chasing down the kick from Brad Davis. Cardoza fumbled it, headbutted it right into the arms of Ben Westwood. Martin Pearson, O'Neill, back to Gareth Ellis. Gareth Ellis sees a bit of a gap. Got past Matty Firth with ease. Pearson out to Davis. Brad Davis, that's a little kick over again for Silva Tabua. Oh, just bounced over the head of Silva Tabua, but picked it up. Has he scored? Well, the touch judge has stayed where he is. Thackeray, down by Gary Price. Halifax doing everything they can at this Wildcats defence. Standing firm. There had to be a try there, last the Halifax Blue Sox. Dave March plays the ball. Drop goal from Martin Pearson. And that sensible play from Pearson, that just knocks them a little bit further forward. Frank Lattini. Jamie Field, that's a good ball to Ben Router. The ball knocked out. Damien Gibson is going to be in at the corner. The ball knocked out the grasp of Ben Router. With 72 minutes played, Damien Gibson gets a second score for the Blue Sox. Ball spun out to Brad Davis, sees a little gap. Fifth tackle, is it going to be a drop goal? Out to Martin Pearson for the drop goal. Ben Router picks up the ricochet. Ben Router! And he scored, but the referee having a word with the touch judge. And a word in goal judge. Don't keep us waiting, Mr. Ganson. It's a try to Ben Router. Swarming in now on the defence. We're into stoppage time by half a minute. Goal Spink into Thackeray. The hooter goes and the Wildcats taking a much deserved 2 points. Taking applause.
Level of commitment, you won't get better than that with any club in any league. You won't get better commitment than that. So we'll keep that going. It's back to work tomorrow as normal. Bad luck for you, we know days off. 9:30 Newmiller Dam, Alliance Academy, we're all bloody in again. We'll keep working. Our work finishes last minute, the last game against Salford. That's when our job's finished. Right? Amen. Good performance, outstanding performance. Well done. Now you can clap, Frankie.
Why are you down at Bellevue this afternoon?
Well, basically, you look at grounds like this, and this is what rugby league's about. It's not about your McAlpine stadiums. I know as an old fan, when we move to a super stadium, it's not going to be like Boulevard. This is a lifeblood of the rugby league. It's not about Huddersfield Giants and McAlpine Stadium staying there because they've got the stadium. This is what rugby league's about. It's a northern game, it's M62 corridor, and let's leave it here.
You travelled over from Wellington to support the Wildcats this afternoon?
Yes, we have, yes, yeah.
Do you feel aggrieved against the 2 point deduction?
Yeah, I do, and I'm just totally against it, so I'm really rooting for Wakefield today.
So it's nothing personal against Huddersfield?
No, nothing personal against Huddersfield, but I do feel that, you know, it's totally out of order what's happened, and that's why we've come over.
On the chin. Hands out, hands out. And Rowley is there again to scamper away from dummy half Paul Rowley. They've missed him over the past couple of weeks, he's been suspended. That's good play, and Lomax over the shoulder, they must be in here, and they are. What a start for Gleeson, what a start for Huddersfield. Just what the Giants wanted, just what Tony Smith, their coach, though, is standing firm so far. Hudson down the short side. Hudson blunders a try again. That's the response that Wakefield wanted. And Ryan Hudson. Will it be the kick? I feel it will be. That's a great ball. It's Steve Malloy who's got through the tackles and is over the line. Tony Smith sends down some more instructions. The Giant does a little dance of delight. David March inside to Brad Davis. Here's Martin Pearson. And the running out poaching. Davis takes the return. Changes the direction of the attack. Runs flat. Spins the ball then to Brooker. They've got a man on the overlap. They won't need him. Brooker is in. Justin Brooker. Those applause from his coach, John Harbin. The Wildcats will go for it. Here they are with Hudson, and he's clipped it this time. It gives Wakefield a 1-point lead. It was from Brad Davis. Wait. They're inching closer though. It's now with Custo, and it's long into the arms of Thorman. And Thorman back on the inside. Gleeson, Heffernan O'Hare. He's over the line. He's got the ball down. Let's go from his own. He can have a bash. He's over. March is over for Wakefield. It's not over yet, boys.
Alka gets the ball out to Allroyd. Alka. Michael Hancock. Michael Hancock's going to be under the sticks. And Stuart Littler is going to go to the line, but Brooker's going to catch him. And he loses the ball. And it's picked up by Neil Law. Bobby Golding screaming at the touch judge. Neil Law's off on a run. Neil Law, has he got the legs? Neil Law going to make it, but he's tackled by Danny Arnold and Stuart Littler from behind, but that's how he turned defence into attack. Bobby Golding too busy remonstrating with the touch judge to get on with the game. That's a good ball, sell it to Boer. There's an overlap. Surely Gareth Ellis is going to be in. Gareth Ellis is in. 16.5 minutes. Gareth Ellis in the corner. Now Reeft in the tackle. So Neil Baines went through. Did he get the ball down? Neil Baines did get the ball down. Then a little bit of a melee going on between, I think, Maloney and Pearson, and they're all in. Well, it's really what we don't want to see. Punches flying all over. It's Gorski. Goulding. Long ball out to Maloney. Maloney's in. Maloney's in for a try in 35 minutes. Neil struggles to his feet. David March trying to go himself. Inches away from the line. O'Neill acting half. It's the ball out to Poaching. Poaching decides to go himself. Poaching with a good try. Bang on 40 minutes of normal time. Good thinking from little hooker. O'Neill. And that's an interception. Stuart Littler. Stuart Littler being chased by Neil Law. Is Neil Law going to catch him? Neil Law misses him, so Stuart Littler is going to be in for 4 points, which is surely going to be 6. 6 to go. That's a good ball to Neil Law. Neil Law going to be in. Neil Law's over. 47 minutes on the clock. Neil Law just cuts that gap. And the fans, a big cheer again as Bobby Goulding has dispatched the sin bin, taking the ball with him. Then throws the ball at Justin Brooker. And Brooker didn't take kindly to that. And that's Bobby Goulding for you. Inciting the riot with the fans. He's been giving them 2 fingers all afternoon. And that card should now be turned to red. And Goulding has shown the red card. And that has brought an almighty cheer from the Wakefield faithful. And Brad Davis caught on this 10-metre line. Martin Pearson. Willie Poaching gets out to Sovertaboa. Sovertaboa to Neil Law. Neil Law gets his second try of the afternoon. Pressure kick. Gets the 2 points. David March sees a gap. David March is over. David March takes the celebrations.
The crowd behind the post go absolutely ecstatic. There's the Wakefield fans going absolutely ecstatic with that try from David March. We're still up there!